With the latest reports that Saudi Arabia is leading a 10-nation Sunni coalition in bombing Yemen's Shia rebels, we take a look at viewpoints on the Yemen crisis across the international media. Anne Alemann-Ling writes in Germany's Deutsche Welle that the international community has shown little interest in Yemen, and the effects of that are now becoming evident. She writes that since September 2014, when the Houthis seized Yemen's capital, Sana'a, their gradual ploy to consolidate power has been relatively easy. Yemen has long had a weak central government, even before the start of the Arab Spring. The fact that former President Ali Abdullah Saleh was able to hold onto power for more than 3 decades was partly due to his habit of paying off his many opponents. But she states his government never fully had the Sana'a region, the base of the Houthi rebels, under control, and now the Houthis see an opportunity. She explains, ironically, the Houthis are being supported by Saleh, whose troops they fought against for years. Now, though, the Houthi and Saleh have a common goal: to topple the Hadi's interim government and to take over power themselves, despite resistance from a large part of the population. The international community has not shown much interest in the power struggle up to now. The problem is it's not just the Houthis who are trying to exploit the government's weakness. She writes, the Islamic State terrorist militia has set up a branch in Yemen and has claimed responsibility for last week's bombings in 2 Shiite mosques in Sana'a, killing more than 130 people. She adds, Yemen has been a jihadist haven for years, with the central government either unwilling or incapable of fighting terrorists on its own soil. She continues, it's no longer clear who in Yemen controls the weapons and armoured vehicles that came from the Americans. She concludes that observers have long spoken of a type of proxy war between the Shiite Houthis, supported by the Shiite regime in Iran, and the Sunni-dominated government of President Hadi, who has the backing of Saudi Arabia. It's a dangerous situation where only one thing appears to be clear: it's the extremists who are profiting, and that spells disaster for the population of this impoverished country. Gwyn Dyer comments in Arab News that the US State Department spokesman said the US continued to support the political transition in Yemen, but there is no political transition. There is a 4-sided civil war. The journalist writes that among the contenders for power are the Houthis, the former President Saleh, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, and the Islamic State group. He explains, in conventional terms, Yemen doesn't matter much. It has a lot of people, 25 million, but it is the poorest country in the Arab world. Its oil has almost run out, and its water is going fast. He reveals, what worries people is the possibility that the militants, either Al-Qaeda or ISIS, could come out on top of this. Shiites are only 1/3 of Yemen's population. The Houthi troops now occupy almost 3/4 of the country's densely populated areas, but it would be an exaggeration to say that they actually control all that territory. They are spread very thinly, and if they start to lose, they could be rolled up very quickly by the militants. He concludes that that could turn Yemen into a terrorist-ruled Islamic State, with 5 times the population of the one that sprang into existence last July on both sides of the Syrian-Iraqi border. The odds are against it, but after that July surprise, nobody is ruling it out. For more updates, please visit lemonde.tv. And subscribe to Mideast In Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.